Joining me today is New Hampshire House of Representatives Larry Converse. So Larry, you're on the Labor Committee, and that's the committee that really drove you to be back in politics.
Yes.
What is it about the Labor Committee that you really like? What are the issues that you really want to push forward in this session and in the future?
A minimum wage. I think that New Hampshire needs its own minimum wage, and we need to boost it up from the federal. But if the federal passes it up, we'll automatically do it anyways. But if we should still have it.
I'm not much of a pundit here, but my guess is you're not going to see an increase in the federal minimum wage in the next 2 years coming out of the Congress. But I may be wrong in that. So how should New Hampshire handle this, assuming we don't see something out of the Congress?
Well, I don't think we'll probably see it out in New Hampshire the way the makeup of the House is. But you can never tell with the fragmented problems that we're having in the House.
What do you think is the right minimum wage?
Well, the right one to me is the living wage, which is, a lot further than what New Hampshire has or even the federal. But reality, $8, $9 would be good.
So, and would you let's say $9? Would you phase that in over 2 years or move very quickly? How would you? What's the right way to look at that?
It would definitely be 2 years because we don't want to interfere with the next representatives coming in.
I know. Just yesterday we heard that Walmart, which is the nation's largest employer, pretty much said we're going to have a minimum wage of, I think it was $9 an hour.
Right, by April.
And then go up to $10 an hour. Do you think that puts pressure on states to really rethink this minimum wage issue?
No. The problem is that the states are all independent, and they're not going to go along with the corporations telling them how to run the state.
But just from the average voter, are they saying, look, this is what this one company is doing? Does it help or hurt that minimum wage argument?
It doesn't do either one of them because the average person knows that minimum wage needs to go up. It's the legislators that don't get the idea that it needs to go up.
There are a couple bills, I think, that'll come before your committee on the minimum wage. How will they get out of the committee with a favorable motion, do you think, or not?
Well, we'll probably end up putting on table 2 of them out of the 3 and go with one of them because I believe the Senate has one too. And what we'll have to do is figure out which one will be usable.
Do you think there's the votes on the committee to have a ought to pass with an amendment?
Yes.
And that's a bipartisan committee.
Yes.
So this issue isn't trending just straight politics, party politics.
Yes. Well, what happens in the committees, they're divided. In other words, Republicans have 240, I believe, and Democrats have 160. So they'll divide each committee by those numbers.
Right. So, but in the Labor Committee, there's more Republicans than there are Democrats.
Yes, in all committees.
Yeah. But what you're telling me is, what I'm hearing was that there's a really good chance a number of Republicans will say we ought to have an increase or ought to have a minimum wage.
Yes.
What do you think they're hearing from their constituents? And what are you hearing from your constituents about this issue?
I'm not hearing anything on a minimum wage or even on the right to work bill.
I'm guessing, but I'll have to ask it. Where do you stand on the right to work bill?
I'm against the right to work bill because all it does is take away the interest of people wanting to better themselves with the company. And I don't think that we should be telling a company that they shouldn't be negotiating with people.
And the argument, you don't buy the argument that people say, well, it's going to increase, economic prosperity, more jobs. That you don't agree with that, I'm taking it.
No. My problem is, how does 3% of the workforce in New Hampshire dictate, this is in private companies, 3% of the workers are unionized. How do they tell everybody in the whole state that if we get a raise, or we have the right to work with a union, that it's going to destroy the state. It's almost impossible to do that.
So you don't see that legislature affecting the state at all, one way or the other.
No.
So it's just not a good thing.
No.
What the bill that you think will pass? What will the minimum wage be?
I have no idea which bill will pass,
Okay.
because there's 3 of them in a Senate bill. So somewhere along the line, we're going to end up compromising.
And when it gets out of your committee, but you don't think it will get through the House?
It's hard to say what version will pass the House.
So I think we're about out of time in this segment.